Hello children, good morning. Hope you are all doing well, enjoying the videos which have been uploaded by our school from the past couple of days. Finally, we, Sri Sathya Sai High School, has entered into the era of online studies. Yet, it's time for us to focus on this aspect. And I thank our school management for giving us this wonderful opportunity. And our main motto is to stay productive during this lockdown period. The ongoing of pandemic COVID-19 has left us in a confused state of mind, but it's wonderful opportunity for us to boost ourselves, share our feelings with family members and make the best use of time for our coming SSC examinations. Hope your spirits are high and let us have a gist, overall view of all the lessons. Are you all ready? Shall we? Right? Now we are going to discuss about the unit personality development. Here we have got A, B, C. Attitude is altitude. Every success story is also a story of great failures. I will do it. Right. Before we discuss about the personality, children, just keep this point in your mind. Be ready to face whatever comes to you and accept life. Right. And coming to the meaning of personality, personality includes the way what we think and how we behave with others and how we communicate with other people in a positive or negative attitude. And besides, if one wants to reach the destination and succeed in life, it is really very important to have a positive attitude, and it's always proved that a person with a positive attitude has succeeded in life, reaching to the great heights. And next, if you observe the pictures over here, Sudha Chandran as well as Stephen Hawking and Helen Keller, these three people are the great personalities who has proved disability is not an obstacle for success. Besides, we have got one more pig named Nick Vujicic, and he is a person where he has been a icon of the motivational speaker. By birth itself, he is a torso, means who doesn't have arms and legs, but he thought that no one could take away his abilities from him. In spite of disability, he became a motivational speaker and moved across the globe, right? And besides, if a person who doesn't have a strong will as well as a purpose for what he is living and a goal without a goal in his life, such people are considered to be a disabled people in our life. And children, always don't sit like a rock, walk like a clock, right? Now coming to the next, be reading. Every success story is also a story of great failures, right? In the lesson we have got many great personalities like Abraham Lincoln, Henry Ford, and we have even our Thomas Alva Edison. If you take Thomas Alva Edison, he is one such kind of person. If you take Thomas Alva Edison, he failed more than 10,000 times to invent a bulb. అంటే మనం కూడా అనుకోవచ్చు అంత చిన్న బల్బు కనుక్కోవడానికి 10,000 సార్లు ఫెయిల్ అయ్యాడా అవసరమా అని అనుకోవచ్చు. కానీ ఇక్కడ మనం నేర్చుకోవాల్సింది ఏంటంటే 10,000 సార్లు తను ఓడిపోయినప్పటికీ కూడా మనకి ఏం నేర్పించాడు అంటే, like n number of times you fail doesn't matter, but at the end of the day you have to work towards your progress. అంటే నేను ఫెయిల్ అయ్యాను కానీ ఇలా మీరు చేయకండి అనేది ఒకటి నేర్పించాడు. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం ఇట్ షోస్ హిస్ పాజిటివ్ యాటిట్యూడ్ దట్ యూ షుడ్ నెవర్ స్టాప్ యువర్ ట్రయింగ్, రైట్? అట్ ద సేమ్ థామస్ ఎడిసన్ ఇంకోటి కూడా ఉందన్నమాట. అంటే ఈ సేమ్ థామస్ ఎడిసన్ అట్ ద ఏజ్ ఆఫ్ 67 హీ లాస్ట్ హిస్ ఫ్యాక్టరీ, మొత్తం కాలిపోయింది. అప్పుడు కూడా ఒకటే అన్నాడు, ఆల్ మై మిస్టేక్స్ ఆర్ బర్న్డ్, doesn't matter, I'll start a new one. That's what's the spirit. So you should always go ahead in life. You should be trying but never lose your heart. And make mistakes, doesn't matter. Get failed, doesn't matter. But consider these stories as the failures are the stepping stones of success. And next we have got the C reading, that is I will do it. Everybody in their life have got some desires and dreams, right? Everybody has got some, అంటే మనిషి ఒక సర్టెన్ స్టేజ్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఒక ఆశ ఉంటుంది, ఒక ఆశయం ఉంటుంది అనమాట. కానీ కొన్ని పరిస్థితుల ప్రభావం వల్ల లేకపోతే సర్కమ్స్టాన్సెస్ వల్ల, సిచ్యువేషన్స్ వల్ల అతను అందుకోలేకపోతాడు. కానీ అటువంటి సర్కమ్స్టాన్సెస్ని కూడా వచ్చిన వాళ్ళు దాన్ని పాజిటివ్గా మోల్డ్ చేసుకొని లైఫ్లో ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్గా నిలిచిపోతారు అనమాట. అటువంటి పర్సనే మన నారాయణమూర్తి, రైట్? హీఈస్ ఎన్ఆర్ నారాయణమూర్తి. హీ వాస్ సచ్ ఎ బ్రైట్ స్టూడెంట్. అంటే చిన్నప్పటి నుంచే తనకు ఒక ఒక పిచ్చి అనమాట. అంటే లైక్ ఐ జస్ట్ వాంట్ టు బి ఏ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఐఐటి, ఐ వాంట్ టు జాయిన్ ఇన్ ఐఐటి. సో సచ్ ఎ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ స్టూడెంట్ వేర్ హిస్ ఫాదర్ hasn't got the ability to afford him to join at మద్రాస్ ఐఐటి. అంటే వాళ్ళ నాన్న దగ్గర డబ్బులు లేవు, వాళ్ళ ఫ్యామిలీ కండిషన్స్ అలాంటివి అనమాట. బట్ ద సేమ్ నారాయణమూర్తి ఆఫ్టర్ ఫ్యూ ఇయర్స్ he started giving jobs to the IITians. He himself hired the IITians. అంటే చూడండి, ఒక హార్డ్ వర్క్, కమిట్మెంట్ ఉంటే మనం ఎక్కడి వరకైనా వెళ్తాము అనేది ఇది ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైమ్ ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ ద ఫీలింగ్ I will do it, I will do it, I can do it, you can do it, right? This is about the unit personality development, right? Wit and humor, unit 2. It includes Dear Departed part 1, Dear Departed part 2, right? And the Brave Parter. Wit and humor, it means a unit generating a humor, and it keeps the environment with a satirical in the lesson as well. And when it comes to the point of this play, Dear Departed 1 and 2, the main characters involved over here are Amelia Slater, Elizabeth Jordan, and their father Abel Merriweather. These sisters, they feel that, they imagine that, assume that their father is dead, and both the sisters started dividing the property. This chapter, this unit clearly deals the sad fact that human often become dehumanized in case of, especially when they face the money, and when they come to know that the father Abel Merriweather is alive, and he knows how the daughters behaving in such a way, like neglecting their duties and responsibilities, he feel sad, and he focuses he want to marry another woman and want to give them a lesson. This is about the lesson Wit and Humor, which will be a satirical manner. And the next lesson, the Brave Parter. And this Brave Parter is completely filled with plenty of humor and fun-filling incidents. This Brave Parter, however, after having palm wine, he will be going to the forest in search of his donkey. Accidentally, he get back the animal to the house. But in the morning, he comes to know he got a tiger instead of his donkey. That is a very funny incident, and people consider him as a Brave Parter. Later on, during the period of a war from the neighboring country, this Brave Parter will be considered as a general of the army. And luckily, during the period of war, he was survived from the enemies. And so the author created humor, and finally the people consider this normal part as a brave part. This is about the second unit, wit and humor. The next unit, human relations. It includes the journey, another woman, never never nest. The unit describes how should be our social living and should always treat the old people with love and affection. The very first lesson, the journey, clearly shows how the old man is clearly neglected by his son. అంటే మనుషులకి ఈగో ఫీలింగ్ ఎక్కువై ఇంకా నేను ఎక్కువ చదువుకున్నాను, నాకేంటి, నాకు గవర్నమెంట్ జాబ్ ఉంది, లేకపోతే నేను వైట్ కలర్ జాబ్ని అని అదేదో ఒక పని చేయమంటే నాకు సెల్ఫ్ రెస్పెక్ట్ దెబ్బతింటుంది, ఇలాంటి యాటిట్యూడ్ చూపిస్తూ ఏమవుతుందంటే చివరికి కన్న తల్లిదండ్రులను కూడా నెగ్లెక్ట్ చేసే స్టేజ్కి వస్తారనమాట. ఇలాంటి వాళ్ళు ఉండబట్టే బయట ఓల్డేజ్ హౌసెస్, అదే ఓల్డేజ్ హోమ్స్ కూడా పెరుగుతూ ఉన్నాయి. బట్ మన లెసన్లోకి వచ్చేసేటప్పటికి ఈ పర్సన్, ది నెరేటర్, he is not in a condition to carry the luggage to the bus stop. ఆ లగేజ్ మోసుకుపోవడానికి కూడా తన జాబు, తను చదువుకున్నదాన్ని అడ్డం వస్తాయన్నమాట. చివరికి వాళ్ళ నాన్నతోనే మోయిస్తారనమాట. రైట్, దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ డిస్కస్డ్ ఇన్ ద లెసన్, ద జర్నీ. సో చిల్డ్రన్, try to spend much of your time with your family members, especially with your parents, and do love them and always be helpful to them, right? And the next, another woman. The title, another woman, it clearly suggests how a woman has faced domestic violence, right? And even this has happened in many women around the society, but the people around the society keep on watching the incidents, but never they try to save the woman. And here the poem clearly depicts how she lost her life in order to avoid the things what all happening in the in-laws house. She herself makes a suicide attempt, and that's the story of another woman. And the very next lesson is the never never nest. అంటే ఆ టైటిల్ ఒక పక్షిని తీసుకున్నామంటే ఆ పక్షి తను జీవించినంత కాలము ఒక ఇల్లు కట్టుకోవడానికి అది ఇష్టపడదు అనమాట. ఇష్టపడదని కాదు, కట్టుకోదు. ఈ లెసన్ కూడా అలాంటి మీనింగ్ అనమాట. లైక్ ఏ న్యూలీ మ్యారీడ్ కపుల్ నేమ్డ్ జాక్ అండ్ జిల్, and they bought each and every luxurious item based on installments, and finally they feel that they are living comfortably without being aware that they are going to be troubled in the coming future. This is what happens in the never never nest. Overall, the human relations teaches us a lot. That is, you have to respect your elders. At the same time, women should be respected and they should be given equal importance. And the next, never never nest, you should have a proper plan to lead a happy life, right? So these three lessons are very good examples how to lead a healthy life, right? Next, we will be going to the fourth unit, films and theatre. Here we have got Renjivasvitre, Maya Bazaar, Attribute. Coming to the అంటే ఇప్పుడున్న టైంలో, ఐ మీన్ లైక్ ఇప్పుడు ఉన్న బెస్ట్ సోషల్ ఎంటర్టైన్మెంట్ ఏది అంటే మూవీస్. మనము మూవీస్ ద్వారా చాలా నేర్చుకుంటాము, నో డౌట్ అందులో. అండ్ ఇండియా హ్యాస్ ప్రొడ్యూస్డ్ exceptional filmmakers. Here in the lesson we are going to discuss about the Renjivasvitre. That is, here in the lesson we are going to discuss the Satyajit Ray and one more character, Gaston Raborch, where he was a Canadian priest who was inspired by the movies directed by Satyajit Ray, and he fell in love with a trilogy, that is అప్పుడు ట్రయాలజీ. అండ్ ఈవెన్ దిస్ పర్సన్ Gaston Roberts, after having a long research over Satyajit Ray, he met him. This shows how much he was connected and want to take the appointment with this person Satyajit Ray. And besides, our Gaston Roberts has got a Chitrabani, a training institute where he trained people for films and also in producing many documentary movies. Besides, our Satyajit Ray is considered to be like Ray took off where Tagore signed out. It means that this is a very important line. It means that both Tagore, our Rabindranath Tagore, and Satyajit Ray got some striking comparison. This is what that line discusses, right? And the very next lesson is Maya Bazar, right? Maya Bazar considered as a classic of Indian cinema, a great classic of Indian cinema, right? And Maya Bazar helped us to know our Telugu language, our customs and traditions. అంటే తెలుగు వాళ్ళు ఎలా ఉంటారు అంటే మాయాబజార్ సినిమా చూస్తే చాలు అనే అంతగా ఆ సినిమాని తీశారనమాట. ఎవరు? డైరెక్టర్, రైట్? డైరెక్టర్ ఎవరు? కేవీ రెడ్డి. అది కాకుండా ఈ సినిమాలో లెజెండరీ యాక్టర్స్ ఉన్నారు. ఎన్టీ రామారావు, అక్కినేని నాగేశ్వరరావు, అంతకు మించి ఎస్వి రంగారావు. అండ్ మనం ఎంత ఎక్కువ చెప్పుకున్నా తక్కువే అన్న మహానటి సావిత్రి, రేలంగి, రైట్? ఈ సినిమాలో వీరు లేరనకుండా ఉన్న ప్రతి ఒక్క పాత్రకి న్యాయం జరిగిందన్నమాట. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం ఈ మూవీ చూస్తున్నంతసేపు కూడా ఏమనిపిస్తుందంటే మన రిలేటివ్స్నో మనకు కావాల్సిన వాళ్ళనో ఎవరినో గుర్తు తెచ్చుకుంటూ ఉంటాం అనమాట. దట్ ఈస్ స్పెషాలిటీ ఆఫ్ దిస్ మూవీ. అండ్ ఇంకా అంటే అంత గొప్పగా క్యారెక్టర్స్ని డిజైన్ చేస్తారనమాట. అండ్ వెన్ ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు ద పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ డైరెక్షన్, కేవీ రెడ్డి ఆ కాలంలోనే చూడండి, రైట్? విజువల్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ చాలా గొప్పగా తీశారనమాట. దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ ద థింగ్స్ విచ్ మేడ్ ద మూవీ టు బి ఏ మాస్టర్ పీస్ అండ్ ఏ ట్రీట్ టు అండ్ ఐ. నెక్స్ట్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ ద ట్రిబ్యూట్, రైట్? ట్రిబ్యూట్ ఈజ్ అ లెసన్ హౌ Savitri dominated the Telugu industry for a certain period of time with her fascinated looks and innocent looks and complete involvement of her looks in the movies. చెప్పాను కదా, సావిత్రి గురించి మనం ఎంత ఎక్కువగా చెప్పుకున్నా కూడా ఇంకా తక్కువ అన్నమాట, రైట్? దిస్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ ద ట్రిబ్యూట్. And next we will be discussing the 5th unit, social issues. Here we have got story house part 1, part 2 and the poem Abandoned. Before entering into the discussing the unit, here there is an expression, the narrow domestic walls. It means the people of our country have broken into groups due to religion and caste. In order to develop ourselves, we need to abolish such kind of social evils, especially following the caste and dividing the people based on the things, right? And even the old generation has to give the way to the new generation. And coming to the lesson, story house part 1 and part 2 involves a most important character, that is Bayaji, who worked and got some money to build a storage house. He had a strong dream, but that dream is spoiled by the Kondiba and his companions. And finally, this Bayaji got died because of the selfish people and caste feelings. People in the society look down other people based on their caste, but we, at least from now, we have to see their talent and efficiency, not their caste, right children? And next is the poem Abandoned. right? In the poem, people because of various reasons, they leave the newborn babies in the streets in the late nights, right? And these should not be there, because child is always considered as a God gift, and we should lead them to have a happy life. We should always make sure that this every child is very, very important. And so the reason to leave the child by the parent might be there are many reasons, right? Sure. Next unit is biodiversity. We have got A, environment, B, or will the dreamer wake, and a tale of three villages. The very first one, environment. Now we are going to discuss about the importance of environment, how and even how environment is useful to us. Without a good environment, it is highly practicable to live in it is highly practicable it is highly practically impossible for a person to lead a happy life, right? The first thing to see to save the environment is planting the trees. This was done by our lady Vangali Matai, and even she made the illiterate women to plant the trees and save the environment. This made her to achieve the Nobel Prize, right? If we save the environment now, that will be forwarded to the next generations, right, full of resources. And the very next lesson are will the dreamer wake. Here అంటే ఇక్కడ మనిషి తన స్వార్థం కోసం ఉన్న పొలాల దగ్గర ఫ్యాక్టరీలు కడతా అంటాడు, ఉన్న నీళ్ళను పొల్యూట్ చేసేస్తాడు, అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం ఉన్న గాలిని కలుషితం చేస్తాడు. దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ హ్యాపెండ్. అంటే ఇవన్నీ జరగడం వల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే ఉన్న జనరేషన్స్ ద స్పీషీస్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అవి ఎక్స్టింక్ట్ అయ్యే ఛాన్సెస్ చాలా ఎక్కువ ఉన్నాయన్నమాట. దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ he is going to describe in the poem. He has taken 4 animals from 4 corners. One is the Asiatic lion, Asiatic tiger, the other one is warble thrush, polar bear, and the whale. If these things are, especially if we keep on polluting the environment in the coming generation, this will be extinct from our environment. So this is a very best example. అంటే ఇప్పుడు రీసెంట్గా ఒకటి జరిగింది చూడండి. ఇప్పుడు ఒక లెపర్డ్ వచ్చింది మన అవుట్స్కట్స్లో. అది ఎందుకు వచ్చింది, అది ఎక్కడ ఉండాలి? సింపుల్ రీజన్, మనము డిఫారెస్టేషన్ చేయడం వల్ల మనం ఉండాల్సిన ప్లేసెస్లో కూడా వచ్చి ఉంటున్నాయి. దిస్ ఈస్ ద బేసిక్ రీజన్. సో ఆల్వేస్ మేక్ షూర్ దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు ప్లాంట్ ద ట్రీస్ అండ్ సేవ్ ద ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్. నెక్స్ట్ వీల్ బి డిస్కసింగ్ ద 5th unit, social issues. Here we have got story house part 1, part 2, and the poem abandoned. Before entering into the discussing the unit, here there is an expression, the narrow domestic walls. It means the people of our country have broken into groups due to religion and caste. In order to develop ourselves, we need to abolish such kind of social evils, especially following the caste and dividing the people based on the things, right? And even the old generation has to give the way to the new generation. And coming to the lesson, story house part 1 and part 2 involves a most important character, that is Bayaji, who worked and got some money to build a storage house. He had a strong dream, but that dream is spoiled by the Kondiba and his companions. And finally, this Bayaji got died because of the selfish people and caste feelings. People in the society look down other people based on their caste, but we, at least from now, we have to see their talent and efficiency, not their caste. Right, children? And next is the poem Abandoned. Right? In the poem, people because of various reasons, they leave the newborn babies in the streets in the late nights, right? And these should not be there, because child is always considered as a God gift, and we should lead them to have a happy life. We should always make sure that this every child is very, very important. And so the reason to leave the child by the parent might be there are many reasons, right? So next unit is biodiversity. We have got A, environment, B, or will the dreamer wake, and a tale of three villages. The very first one, environment. Now we are going to discuss about the importance of environment, how environment is useful to us. Without a good environment, it is highly practicable to live in it is highly practicable it is highly practically impossible for a person to lead a happy life, right? The first thing to save the environment is planting the trees. This was done by our lady Wangari Maathai, and even she made the illiterate women to plant the trees and save the environment. This made her to achieve the Nobel Prize, right? If we save the environment now, that will be forwarded to the next generations, right, full of resources. And the very next lesson are will the dreamer wake. Here అంటే ఇక్కడ మనిషి తన స్వార్థం కోసం ఉన్న పొలాల దగ్గర ఫ్యాక్టరీలు కడతా అంటాడు, ఉన్న నీళ్ళను పొల్యూట్ చేసేస్తాడు, అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం ఉన్న గాలిని కలుషితం చేస్తాడు. దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ హ్యాపెండ్. అంటే ఇవన్నీ జరగడం వల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే ఉన్న జనరేషన్స్, ద స్పీషీస్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అవి ఎక్స్టింక్ట్ అయ్యే ఛాన్సెస్ చాలా ఎక్కువ ఉన్నాయన్నమాట. దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ he is going to describe in the poem. He has taken 4 animals from 4 corners. One is the Asiatic lion, Asiatic tiger, the other one is warble thrush, polar bear, and the whale. If these things are, especially if we keep on polluting the environment in the coming generation, this will be extinct from our environment. So this is a very best example. అంటే ఇప్పుడు రీసెంట్గా ఒకటి జరిగింది చూడండి. ఇప్పుడు ఒక లెపర్డ్ వచ్చింది మన అవుట్స్కట్స్లో. అది ఎందుకు వచ్చింది, అది ఎక్కడ ఉండాలి? సింపుల్ రీజన్, మనము డిఫారెస్టేషన్ చేయడం వల్ల మనం ఉండాల్సిన ప్లేసెస్లో కూడా వచ్చి ఉంటున్నాయి. దిస్ ఈస్ ద బేసిక్ రీజన్. సో ఆల్వేస్ మేక్ షూర్ దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు ప్లాంట్ ద ట్రీస్ అండ్ సేవ్ ద. Now we are going to discuss a tale of 3 villages. The very first one is Koko village, Nigeria. Here the drums from Italy have been unloaded in the village, and those drums contains the poisonous chemicals which mixes with the drinking water. And finally it was the one Thomas Agoni who is going to say that the water is polluted, and comes to know that they need to vacate the place. As they don't have any other option, they have to stay back in the same village, and they have to because the government doesn't provide anything to them, so there was no choice for them. It indicates that the story is going to be continued with the end of their lives. And the very next lesson is Ponimaturi village, right? Here the village, the people of the village were fooled, saying that we are going to construct a factory, you are going to earn lot of money, and all your families will be filled with happiness. So when these words are said by the people who are going to construct the factory, the villagers, they blindly trusted, gave everything to them. but because of the chemicals which have been released from this have resulted the land to be polluted, and finally they traveled 10 kilometers to get the drinking water, right? All the chemicals have been released because of the tanning. And the very next lesson were about village in Ukraine, which happened on 26th April 1986, right? And it was a very sad story of Natasha Ravenko, where she lost 3 of her children because of a release of nuclear reactor powder. And those children, they keep on playing with the powder, but within a week they have vomitings, loss of hair from the body that resulted cancer, and the people have died. I mean, the children have been dead. This was a very sad story of Natasha Ravenko. Even the last line, it indicates that her last dream was to see her house once again and to see the graveyard of her children. It's a really heart-touching story, right? And the very next unit is Nation and Diversity. Here we have got 3 more lessons. The very first one is My Childhood, a plea for India, unity and diversity in India. When it comes to My Childhood, it purely discuss about a great person, APJ Abdul Kalam, right? The lesson My Childhood is an autobiography of APJ Abdul Kalam, and it is an extract of Wings of Fire. The lesson describes APJ Abdul Kalam and how he earned money by doing petty jobs. అతను చిన్నతనంలో న్యూస్ పేపర్లు వేస్తూ చింతపిచ్చలు అమ్ముకుంటూ వాటి ద్వారా తను సంపాదించింది కూడా డిస్క్రైబ్ చేస్తారనమాట. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైమ్ ఈవెన్ కలాం ఫ్రెండ్షిప్ విత్ బ్రాహ్మిన్ బాయ్స్, రైట్? ఇట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో a heart touching story. How nice he had a very good friendship with those little boys, right? And the next, the ill treatment of teacher towards him. When a new teacher arrived, by showing as Kalam was wearing a cap, he was asked to sit in the last bench. So these are all the incidents which have been described in his extracts of fire. And here even the lesson even describes about the Subramaniam Iyer, the hospitality, how he was provided to Abdul Kalam, and the last which made Kalam father's motivation to study Abdul Kalam in Ramanathapuram. All these incidents have been very clearly described in the lesson My Childhood. The very next poem is A Plea for India, right? India is the best example for unity and diversity, where we all have been mingled with different castes, different religions and different sects of people. But what we need to do here is on the other side, that is on the other side of the people, they start fighting unnecessary revolts, unnecessary things, make the country to turn down into the shame. So we have to avoid all the unnecessary things which makes us turns us into plight. It's our prime duty to be a responsible citizen, and we should make sure that not to involve in unnecessary revolts which are caused by the selfish people, right? This is about the poem A Plea for India. And last but not least, our motto should be like we should make our country stronger and better by having a strong dedication and love as well as willpower towards our country for its development, right? And the very next lesson, unity and diversity, right? It's proud to say that we are all Indians, because it is the country, that is India is a country where we have got variety of languages, variety of customs, variety of traditions, everything. It is the India where it is called as a secular state, and we need to develop the spirit of being one, and this should help us to lead a happy life. It's purely the unit purely depicts about the greatness of India, right? This is about the lesson unity in diversity. And now we are going to enter the last unit, human rights, right? We have got here the Jamaican Fragment and the another one, What is My Name, and Once Upon a Time, a poem, right? When you come across a Jamaican Fragment, here the black man like he was puzzled by seeing the children playing in the garden, right? And especially the white was dominating the black boy, and he felt that though we got the independence from the white, still what is the necessity of a black to be surrendered to the white? This is a story where he will get twisted in the end, where the white man has married a dark woman, and finally those two kids were the children of those couple. And even this black man, he comes to know how foolishly he had thought in his mind, how and why can't I imagine just that's a game, part of a children's life. This is what about the lesson Jamaican Fragment. And next, Once Upon a Time. The poem Once Upon a Time clearly deals with sorrowful as well as regretful, but with a strong message. అంటే ఒకప్పుడు జనరేషన్లో ఎలా ఉండింది, ఇప్పుడు జనరేషన్లో ఎలా ఉన్నారు, ఒకప్పుడు మనుషులు హృదయంతో మనసుతో మాట్లాడుకునేవారు, నవ్వుకునేవారు. కానీ ఈ కాలంలో అలా లేదనమాట. ఎవరి దగ్గర అయితే డబ్బు ఎక్కువ ఉంటుందో వాళ్ళని ఎక్కువగా దగ్గర తీసుకోవడం. So all these things are happening around the world right now. This should not be the thing. We the human beings, we should be having our originality. Though we are moving from generation to generation and generation to generation, we should never lose that originality. The last lesson, What is My Name? Right here in the lesson, Mrs. Murthy, Sarada, just focusing on swabbing the house, drawing mugulu, as well as and finally she forgets her name. Not only Sarada, most of the women in India lose their identity, especially once they got married. They even forget their identity in fulfilling the duties as a wife, as a mother, as well as daughter-in-law. So so the writer has mainly focused on the Indian women, how they are going to lose their identity. Besides, even the husbands used to call them as Emoy, Gimoy. This is what, though the woman has been educated, at least they should be given their identity in order to prove themselves in the society. Right? And coming to the story, our Sarada, after making many efforts, she comes to know her name is Sarada, and finally insists her husband not to call anymore Emoy or Gimoy. Right? And she says that her name is Sarada. And we can conclude this lesson by saying that women should be educated and as well as they should be given respect. Right? This is about the lesson, What is My Name? Right, children? It's only a language teacher who can do this, because all the subject teachers are confined to themselves but not language teachers. Here I am going to talk about everything. Only languages make you to lead a happy life. You might have understood how to stay happy, how to enjoy life. You know how to make human relationships, and you know how to cope up with social issues, and you know how to enjoy the movies, and last but not least, you know how to stand up and fight when you fail in life. This is what we have learned from all the 8 units. So every unit is important. Every unit is important, and this unit really makes you to lead a happy life. అంటే ఈ 8 యూనిట్స్ ఏవైతే ఇప్పుడు మనం నేర్చుకున్నామో ఇవి లెసన్స్ పరంగానే కాకుండా మన నిజ జీవితంలో కూడా అనుసరించాము అంటే మన లైఫ్ చాలా బ్యూటిఫుల్గా ఉంటుంది. రైట్? థ్యాంక్ యూ చిల్డ్రన్.